Welcome back to the Death Curse. This is a session technically two, um, entitled Into the Wilds. Last session, the group um, coordinated amongst each other and decided on a guide. Well, they got rather fortunate and were able to basically uh, get two guides for the price of one, in a way. That said, they didn't pick the halflings, if you're familiar with the module. They just managed to kind of negotiate between two different ones and get them both to agree to work together. They slept. They woke up the next day, and they'll be heading down towards the river. That's what happened at the end of last session, and they have arrived at the river. The two guys are basically ready to go. Feel free to have any final discussions, and if you have anything that you want to interject to try and do before you start to leave, then let that be said.
Ground will be filling his water skins in the river water.
As you move to the river water, you'll note that it's very foul, as it's a southern egress out of the city. It looks very disgusting.
Drinkable.
Does not look drinkable.
I have purify water. I'll cast on a pool or a nearby spot that he can draw from.
Well, he has 4 water skins, so he'd pull from those, and then you'd purify it once they're inside.
Purify the skins themselves. Yeah.
Yeah, that too. I think we can also just make water.
We can.
Buying water skins might have been stupid of me.
Yeah.
We might get away from this river at some point.
We can also boil water when we make camps.
We all have ways of drinking water.
Water shall be had.
Some less magical than others.
So, with water kind of already discussed there to a certain degree, who do you want to have be the representative or mascot of the party?
I hit things.
Steve.
Wait, mascot Peroth. He's got a jaguar mask or something.
Yeah, I'm leaning Steve or Kevin as the
Whoever has
face.
Good survival.
What is the role of said mascot?
Whoever
So-
has high wisdom.
The only point of having a mascot is I needed to know which token I was going to place on the map.
Oh, totally Peroth.
Peroth is the token on the map. You should
Yeah,
be able to see
yeah, for
your,
sure.
He's the face.
You should
The
be able
face
to,
of the group.
You should be able to see your starting location. Sorry to
Yeah, we got it.
have that pull out. So you'll be moving down the River Soshin Star, and the two guides, they have a single or 2 longboats, as I mentioned. It looks like each one could hold 5 people total. I think that was mentioned. One looks like it was brought by him, and the other one looks a little different of make. More, his is a bit more sturdy, like a dwarf made it, and hers is a bit more traditional, like Chultan made it. So just let me know how you guys are planning on loading out. It looks like the 2 of them will basically be serving as either a rower or navigator. It looks like the dwarf is basically ready to serve as a rower, despite his one-armedness. And she looks like she's kind of keeping to the books or to the maps and papers, and kind of keeping an idea of where you're located, and also keeping an eye of where you'll be going.
Remind me, the orc.
I'm
yeah, go ahead.
I'm taking the dwarf spot rowing.
Yeah, I was gonna offer the same.
We need his eyes, not his
Oh.
arm.
He says, "Okay, all right," and kind of pops.
Better
back
to
up.
have him ready if
Get
something
ready.
happens.
You're a man of legend. Keep it ready.
Yeah, just don't like being someone who's riding off the back of someone else. That's all. I can do both at the same time, but if you feel inclined, I'll keep my attentions where they're at. Then,
Yeah.
all right. You have gear that you've purchased and preparing to kind of get loaded out there. As you're kind of ending the getting ready portion, I just want to make sure if there's anything that anybody wants to pick up, purchase, because your character sheets, as I see them right now, that's your final answer. I'm screen capping them, so if you start saying you have things that you don't have, I'll know, you tricky guys. This is survival time. We're
We
gonna
have 2 guides. Can I ask them, is there anything they recommend us to bring that, like I'm a pretty good survivalist, but I'm used to surviving on the Sword Coast. Is there anything on Chult that I might need that I may not have needed on in like the mainland. And do
Tej.
you recommend?
You're gonna need Tej. A lot of Tej. As much Tej as you can buy.
Okay, Azaka. Anything besides booze?
She's kind of shaking her head. There's a lot of things that could be useful. Most of the things that I feel are useful to me, I already have on my person. I assume my associate is similar in that regard. Nothing I can think of off the top of my head that you must have, but I'm sure even if you were to grab everything I suggested, there will be a moment in the jungle where we say we wish we had brought a certain thing, and we won't have it.
Alright, sounds like we have all the necessities then.
Okay. Let's see. Is there anybody you want to talk to before you leave? Do anything on the way out there? Because as a matter of fact, I just want to make sure you're reminded, because it is something that was brought up in the lead up. Steve, you did mention the reason why you knew where you were going. An individual named Undril Silvertusk, a priest of Torm, was wanting escort to Camp Vengeance. It was the whole reason you were planning on going.
There, I knew it. I knew it was more than just go there.
You're in charge.
Alright, who did she talk to originally? Who, like, brought this information to the group?
It wasn't Grun and the Furbolg, whose name is...
Nah, we did a bad job.
Yeah, you did a great bad job, but not good jobbing. I think it was Andy and Kevin?
Steve.
Or, no, Steve.
Oh, I think it was Ruskin Payroff, I think.
Did what?
Don't
You
worry.
met her down by the docks, right?
Yeah. And don't worry, Andy. I get the Canadians
Yes?
mixed up too.
I honestly I don't remember meeting her at all.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah,
It wasn't Chody. Chody went with Steve. Steve and Chody did a thing.
No, that's the opposite. No, I went with Steve.
Yeah, me and Chody went to the docks together, but I don't think we like talked to anyone of crazy importance. We were like eavesdropping.
Steve and Andy went to the market, and then after
Yeah.
that they found the priest because they were out and about looking like they were confused and asking people for guidance.
Oh.
Yeah.
Then you talk to them, and that's why Steve knows intimately why that's the case, because he was the one who had the exchange.
Yeah, it's been a couple sessions, but I knew there was a reason. Okay, is there time for me to go get her? Because she said she's I'm assuming she's still where I met her at the
She
bar.
said she'd be ready whenever you're ready, so...
Yeah, I'm gonna go scoop her up and say we got a boat, we got a crew, we got supplies. Let's.
Okay. The paladin will be going. The attendant remains. And she has a word, the half-orc has a word with the attendant. Basically, you overhear that she's telling him to continue to wait here for any others of the order that are wanting to, that enter into the port and are heading into the jungle. And do as she did. Okay. As you're walking with her, is there anything that you want to, for Undril, is there anything you want to say?
What are you expecting any trouble when we get to the camp, or?
Oh, I'm sure. Reports say that there were a lot of undead, and that's why the new camp was made. Camp Righteous before it, so Camp Vengeance is where I presume most of our forces, most of the order is gone, and hopefully we can meet with Commander Breakbone as quickly as possible and see what assistance I can put forward.
How long has the commander been out in the bush?
Oh, probably at least a decade.
But he'd have pretty intimate knowledge of the jungle and what might be in there.
He's the reason why we feel like we have a strong base of operations to continue this process. And if it helps any of these would-be adventurers or heroes find the Soulmonger and stop the death curse, then so much the better.
Well, that's what I was going to ask him. We'd like, as part of our payment for escorting you, we'd like any information the commander may have on the Soulmonger.
I am going to be recompensating you with coin, as we discussed. But if information is more what you want, we'll see what Commander Breakbone is willing to part with in that regard.
Yeah, information I feel is more valuable to us than coin at this point. So yes, if he's willing, it would be a great help.
Of course. All right. The two of you progress and make it to the boats. Just tell me what you guys are doing as you're loading up the boats, what have you.
So there are 2 boats, right?
Correct. One of the
Okay.
guides on each.
Is the water on the river known to be particularly difficult or rough, or
Are you asking
I would be asking, sure.
who?
Maybe Azaka.
She's just-
Azaka.
on the Ocean Star, not so much. Not until it winds the bend and starts heading past Mabala. It doesn't do that for very long. Near and about where I suppose we're going, if I recall my map as accurate. The Ocean Star enters into the Eldani Basin near Mabala, and it's rather calm at that point. So no, I suppose would be the answer. More or less, what we're worrying about is things that will be coming out of the more tainted lands in between the river Tiriki and Ocean Star. The rivers Tiriki and Ocean Star.
Okay, thank you. And so Shadow would want to get into the boat with Azaka, and you would see him not look like he's not really particularly happy with getting wet himself, so he's going to avoid the water as much as possible, but at the same time he looks really comfortable in the boat as a sailor, and so he would tie his stuff down using his sailor skills.
Okay, very good. Go ahead and get
Very cat-like.
gain inspiration for the good use of background.
All right.
And you tie your stuff down. Does it look like you're going to be one to row, or are you kind of shying away from that responsibility?
I'm shying away from that.
So whatever
I'm not particularly strong.
whatever 2 will be going in the boat with Shadow and Azaka need to be people who can row.
I will be rowing.
We have 2. It's 2 separate crafts.
If
now.
you have a strength of 18 or better, you could row the boat by yourself. If not, no.
Mine's
I'm going the other boat because I'm not rowing.
Okay. So, is it the giants in one, the others in the other?
Sure.
Or is it one giant per boat? What are you doing?
I suggest that we separate Krusk and myself, or Lizardfolk or Keen on the water. If someone falls overboard, we'd probably be the best ones to jump out and retreat because we're strong swimmers.
Krusk is a pretty decent rower too, so that works.
Are
So-
the giants so heavy that if both of them were in one boat, it would create a problem?
No, it looks like it could probably carry the lot of you plus
Okay.
some. Because remember, you're going to be having a total of 5 on each boat. There's like a whole person's worth of space. And when I say that, I mean also a person's worth of storage space. If you were in a pinch, you could put everybody on one boat, but there wouldn't be much room for the gear.
Do we need to worry about these things tipping, or are they pretty wide vessels?
They're pretty wide. The more stable of the two is the dwarves.
Right, but either of us, giant or people, sitting to one side or another is not going to cause me.
No, not too much.
Okay. So Rusk, Grun rowing one, and Payroth and Doral rowing the other.
Sounds good. And then Parath and Doral, are you on the boat with Shadow and Ozaka, or are you on the boat with? Oh my God, why is my brain not?
We'll be with One Eye and Hackenstone.
One Eye and Hackenstone, right? I was forgetting the One Eye part.
We're trying to split the 2 lizardmen to.
Got it. And the Goliaths. That works out. Okay,
Yeah.
great. And then the lead boat will be Azaka's boat, as it's a bit faster, and it would basically be a lot more tedious for it to kind of continually kind of bump into the back of the boat rather than slow down and wait for the others if it gets too far ahead.
Gwen reminds me that my job is to try to, as best as possible, sketch out the sort of the cartography.
He had to deal with the merchant prince, Wakanda.
Real close.
I know. I keep doing it. It started as a joke.
So
That's your scapegoat. Anybody wants you to do any work, I have to draw these maps.
There you go.
I need these hands.
Perfect.
So by normal walking methods in the jungle, you might be able to move 10, maybe 20 miles by foot, if you were lucky, 20 miles. By boat on this Ocean Star, moving at the clip that you'll be moving at, you'll basically be able to move 50 miles a day because it's straight, untethered, only occasional stops compared to having to move through a jungle a bit more tediously. That said, your captain, let me make sure I'm on the right one. Your captain, the one who has the selected token and is your mascot, go ahead and move yourself a total of 5 markers, if you will. And actually make it 6 because Azaka on the slow day will be able to use the currents from the bay, pushing from the bay to SS.
Did you say 5?
5 hexes.
6.
Yep. Or 6 hexes is the total.
Like down the river?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Just as best as you can muster, that's all.
I guess. That's 5.
One more. Okay. So I need you to elect a second representative for the group. Obviously the face of the party is Peyroth now. And the next person will need to roll me 3d20s. Or you can break that up amongst 3 of you. 3 of you each rolling 1d20, your choice.
Put it all on Steve. Make it his fault.
Okay.
So roll 3d20
Roll 3d20s, yep.
separately or just at once?
You can throw it in one block. It still shows it on the side there. Okay. All right. So it doesn't appear that anything is kind of messing with you during the course of your day. You do see at one point as you're passing by a couple of things, some old Chultan ruins kind of carved into stone faces around bends, kind of holding up higher portions of the jungle. Vines dangling down. You can see creatures kind of moving throughout the trees. Very large serpents in some places. In other places, the primates of the smaller variety, orangutans, chimpanzees, and the like, kind of moving about. You kind of wind through some bends through the early portion of the day, and very quickly realize that you've come to a point where the jungle canopy is very dense overhead, and it basically kind of locks in all of the flavor of the jungle kind of right there on the river, and also a lot of the humidity remains present there. By this point in the day, Grun, if you're still wearing plate armor or your chainmail armor, your heavy armor that's made out of metal, I'll need you to go ahead and just make me a Constitution saving throw or extinguish 1 water skin.
Extinguished.
All right. So you remain hydrated, but you're sweating a lot. It's very, very hot in Stonechild Town. It's a sweaty mess. Everything feels like the bog you're scrolling through.
I'm gonna follow the dwarf's orders though. Just tell me how many water skins I need per day, and
You
I'll
should probably just take off the armor, to be honest. But if you're keen on keeping it, just keep drinking water, and hopefully you don't hyperhydrate. Just if you feel thirsty, drink. If you think you might feel thirsty but you're not sure, drink. Otherwise, you should be all right.
Yeah.
All right. During the second portion, it actually cools out a little bit, and kind of a northward or northeastern bound or northwestern bound wind kind of cuts through the jungle at a narrow point, kind of to your northeastern side. I did it right. Yeah, anyways. It's a bit cooler in this region as you're kind of maneuvering down. Again, one more Constitution saving throw or one more water skin from you, and then everyone else, you need to consume the contents of at least half of your water skin, keeping that in mind. A water skin can keep you watered for an entire day.
John, I'm assuming you want Doral to match Grun because he's also in heavy armor.
If you're doing this, if you're doing the same, you need to match Grun's,
Yeah. Okay.
Grun's consumption levels. But yeah, wearing heavier armor, chainmail or higher, and that much metal on you, it basically kind of you're rolling the save instead.
I'm rolling one of the saves because I only
Okay.
had one water skin on me.
So, and then you're going to do the same for the second portion as well.
The second one, I'll drink the water.
Oh, okay. All right.
I have one water skin on me.
So it'll be one full water skin for half of a day. At this
Sure.
rate, because the first save you saved, you're fine. Just normal
Okay.
consumption's fine. And then for the second portion, you're basically finishing the rest of the entirety of the water skin. Okay. So that should be the people in metal armor are down one or two water skins full of water, and then the other four of you are kind of fine. Half your water skins depleted. During the third portion of the night, the air cools out quite a bit. The rest of you will finish your water skins by the night's end, and then the two big guys, you'll just take a half of one. So effectively, what you've noted through the three portions of the day, early or morning, afternoon, and evening to night, you've realized that it will take 2.5 consumptions Grun for you to be able to kind of survive on the regiment you're on. And then if you can make a saving throw.
Sure.
Then no, don't make one now.
Oh, okay.
Or you have to at the end. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
11.
Okay. You feel a little tired by the end of the evening, but not a level of exhaustion yet. Okay. And then you kind of come to a bend in the river, and you can see that the two of the guys are kind of talking to each other, and they kind of point to an area that kind of divots into, like the water flow kind of hits against it and has caused it to kind of recess out and form like a little natural little bay in the river.
Jetty?
That's the word I wanted. Thanks, buddy. A jetty. The two of them work together. One of them hops out, splashes quickly to the shore, slams down a large metal spike, which the rope for that boat is tied to. The other person throws their rope out as the next spike is being driven, and they get both the ships tied off in the jetty. What would you like to do?
So it's evening now.
Correct.
What was our plan? To rest during the day to conserve water, or is that still a no?
Well, I said I was going for the day, and we just started going.
No,
for it.
and that's
one
fine. And that's
stopped me.
fine. I'm just asking from forward on.
And say we had mentioned traveling at night.
Right, I know, but I was mentioning that they were getting to go through, the first day, and no one stopped them to ask that or why they were doing that.
Whatever. To save us time, we're moving faster.
Yeah, I'll ask Kagenstone, and I thought you wanted to move through the night, but we traveled all day, and now it looks like we're stopping.
We're not sleeping all night. We're just taking a rest. Weather out your arms. It's going to be a rough night.
Is it possible for people to sleep on the boats?
Yeah, it is. That's the point. So there will be kind of a downtime for people. We'll have one boat being rowed, and the other boat will be pulled. Ozaka goes, "It's a good plan. We discussed it a little earlier. I'm sorry we didn't bring it to your attention. We figured since you're paying us, you would take whatever advice we gave." He kind of goes, plus their advice would probably be stupid anyway. So I'll be the lead boat, and Ozaka will be in the Sleepy Town boat. Which two of you lot kind of gestures to the larger individuals want to row first?
Say, if one boat's faster to begin with, shouldn't it be behind to be towed?
Right.
Since it's just going to run. Yeah.
That's why I'm in the lead boat.
why did we row both boats down here to begin with if we could have just been towing one the whole time?
Because it's going to slow us down with all of the gear and people that we're dragging. 2 boats move faster than 1 boat with less weight. What do you people do in Waterdeep?
We have sail. We usually
Wrestle.
We have sails.
I only passed through it. I've lived in really harsh landscapes, and I'm sorry, you city folks sound strange.
Well, while they decide who's going to be rowing, I'm going to jump onto the shore. And I'm actually just going to start building up. If we're resting here for a small while, I'm going to build up a fire, and because I want to start boiling water to replace what we lost.
They shake their hands to you, kind of. No. Not yet. In the morning before you go to sleep. Do you not have enough water?
I think we should have half a skin. The non-heavy boys and the heavy boys are both like half. You guys have 2 left each.
2.5. Zach's got more.
Underville
Okay,
says,
so we should be okay for the night then.
those of you who have empty water skins, come to me. The half-orc says.
I'll bring my water.
So would I.
Yup.
Okay.
Passing over.
Yeah, top it up.
Just checking
She also has purify food and drink.
Just pulls out a decanter of endless water. Like, oh,
No.
easy.
She starts casting a spell. So how many gallons are in a water skin? I forget.
I guess just a couple pints.
Yeah, it's not a full gallon.
Yeah, you're gonna make way more than you need to with the spell. So
Okay.
if there's a vessel nearby we could fill up and just continually go to refill water skins as needed, that would be.
Hayroth has a keg.
If Payroth has an empty keg, yeah, we can use it.
Oh, it's not empty.
She's about to make 10 gallons of
Empty
water.
that cake.
Finish the liquor.
Let's see. Hold on. Let me do.
I guess I finished the liquor.
Let me do some math real quick. Hold on.
Just hand it to the dwarf. He can do it.
So a keg can hold about 16 gallons, rounded up. So you bought did you buy the keg here or you brought it with you?
I bought it here when we were
Right.
fucking. Shadow was looking at people with fancy drinks. He bought a glass. I bought a keg.
So real talk, there's no way you've drank even a gallon of alcohol
Nope.
today. So it's still got a lot in it that
Yep.
could be potentially wasted here if you go with that idea.
Could I utilize Artisan's
idea.
Blessing to build some kind of vessel magically?
What does this ability say?
Conduct an hour-long ritual that crafts a non-magical item that must include some metal. Simpler martial weapon, a suit of armor, 10 pieces of ammunition, a set of tools, or another metal object.
Let's see.
That's pretty cool.
The thing you can create can be something that is worth no more than 100 gold.
Barrel.
Yo,
You
if it's
can make-
anything,
You can make a barrel bigger than what he's talking about. You could actually make like a whole, like, massive barrel that will definitely hold 30 gallons worth of water. It'll be really heavy on the boats.
I don't intend to make anything terribly large. I'm talking enough to give us
So about the
fresh
same
water
size of the
for a
keg?
days.
30 gallons is 210 pounds.
To say it'll be heavy, but with how much?
Oh, you have room
meat
for
our
another
big
person.
boys need to drink.
You can make another. You can put a
It's
barrel in
the
it,
person worth of water. That'll
Yeah.
be fine.
Okay.
and it depletes throughout the day, so that's fine. So if you basically go to the wood, grab a couple pieces, and kind of say your ritual over them, they become a full-on like barrel that you've seen rolled across ports in all of the port cities you've been in Faerun.
Hey, magically put a tap on that thing so we
That's
don't have to
right.
reach
Tap
it.
Yeah,
that
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
And it can't spill.
I'll allow it.
It's gonna be a full canister. It's
Okay.
you got quality from me. I'm a forge
I'll even allow
player.
for like
almost
a
said wizard.
U-bend or whatever, basically, so that you can have the tap at the top and the barrel kind of sitting horizontally, so that it'll actually still funnel out the way there. I can't remember.
Yeah,
what
it's
the
quality
name-
piece.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Well done, Doro. Very.
Good stuff.
That was awesome.
You basically created the water cooler for the party. Solid. We'll have water cooler conversations along the trip.
Just get rid of that problem.
Basically, the boats are now just a floating office. The dwarf
Nice.
goes, "That's pretty fucking neat. I'm a fan of that." After the whole bit here, can I keep that on my boat?
We'll talk.
All right. So
That was not in the negotiation.
Well, he just asked. They just started the
No,
negotiation.
I'm not saying no.
All right.
I'm just also not saying yes.
He'll take his lead, and then who are the first 2 rowers, and then who is down in the boat, the opposite boat.
Should we stick with the idea of splitting up tank and swimmer?
Yeah, I would offer to row. I would keep going.
I've already done a day's worth of rowing, so I'll take a break for this route.
I'll get a good drink of water and I'll keep rowing.
Okay. All right. So at this point, what I'm going to go ahead and decide to do is say that, and again, I know it's probably not accurate, but this is the rules for the game. A water skin, which is like a full kind of big bladder of water, will be effectively 1 gallon of water. Is that fair? Or is that too much water for the consumption of a day?
That's about what you should consider.
Yeah. If it's
Good.
that hot, we're probably drinking
Especially,
more
yeah,
than a
that kind of
gallon.
exertion and that kind of heat.
Well,
A gallon or more is
the people in the
likely.
plate armor are drinking more than a gallon for sure. 2.5 gallons is what you guys are drinking throughout the day, for hot, laborious, kind of heavy clothed activity. And then the rest
Okay.
of you in this earlier portion of the trip, because it hasn't gotten as hot as it can be, are drinking about a gallon a day, which is
Hey, John, water skin is 4 pints.
okay. Well, that's only 1 quart, right?
That's a half gallon.
Yeah.
No,
okay.
just
2
over.
pints to a
It's-
quart.
so
Two
then
quarts
It's
to 4
0.6
quarts to a gallon.
gallons.
Then my math has been off.
Half ga-
How do you even know, Steven? You don't have gallons in Canada?
I'm using the converter on
Metric-
How many
Google.
rods to a
Gallon.
hogshead, Steve?
Don't they have liters, like of milk in
That was the
bags?
first thing I did. I'm like, how many liters in a gallon?
Don't they put their milk in like plastic bags? You
Yes.
can't- Okay. Just wanted to make
Low
sure.
hanging fruit, John.
I just want to make sure that was a real thing because I saw it on TV one time, and I'm, you can't trust what you see. You better just talk to a Canadian and ask. So there are 30 gallons in the barrel now. From this point moving forward, we'll do the math accurately. But so far, as I say, your water consumption has been your water consumption. All right. The priest and Azaka will be asleep on the second boat. The 2 rowers I've got so far are I always forget.
Rusk.
Yeah, Rusk and the Doral. They'll be rowing on the lead boat, and they'll be guided by the guy.
Hackenstone.
That's the one. You guys are doing great. Maybe I'm stopping and pausing to make sure you guys remember.
Sure.
That's
it is.
exactly what's happening.
Because you've forgotten his name
That's
4
awesome.
times to give us chances.
That's super smart, John. You're a good DM. Way to play. But that's the setup. Any questions? Any changes to what I said?
I can snooze.
So yeah, we're only putting two of our men are going to be awake. The rest of us are in sleepy boy. Or do you want to do 3 on 3 off?
Your call.
I think we'll be okay.
I also have a question.
Shoot.
Since we are lizards, do we consume water differently? Just curious.
So, do you have like a thing that it makes you immune to poison or resist poison?
I do not think so. No.
Then no.
Okay.
You
Just checking.
you would still drink fresh water. They don't drink sludge.
Yeah, and we don't have
No.
like a hot climate and passive or anything like that. Like
Yeah,
You're
the,
talking
I
like
meant-
a skin absorption?
Yeah, I meant more the amount or how it was drank.
You still want to drink the right amount.
yeah, we're reptiles, amphibians.
I was just checking.
Okay.
Good answer though.
So
Kinda
So three
cheap.
3 up, 3 down is what we want to go. Who wants to take first leg? Doral, Rusk, and
I'll stay up.
okay.
okay. So what you'll know is that this next cycle is going to go by in watches, as if you were sleeping throughout the day. So you're effectively taking watches, but the front boat, the lead boat's the one that will be powering through. So that said, they're effectively going to go for 4 hours, from about 6 to about 10, right? And you people will be sleeping while they're rowing, and then they're going to wake up the second watch, which will be Azaka and 2 rowers and 1 watcher. So that being said, who do you want your second watch to be? But before that's the case, and as you're thinking about that, someone also roll me a d20.
I'll do it.
Go for it.
19.
Okay.
Well, if we're doing 3 on, 3 off, the second watch would just be the 3 who are asleep right now who will wake up and take over.
Okay. Well, that means that you won't have a third wave of people rowing. That's a problem. You want to do 2, 2, and 2. Sorry, I didn't do the math in my head because you want to be down for 8 hours total.
So we should be doing 2, 2, 2 then instead of 3 and 3.
Yeah.
Well, we have the captain, the dwarf, and the other one too, right? Or are they not in on this?
So they are, but it's going to go. Basically, the person who's performing watch is the dwarf first. Then it's the Azaka, and then the last one who's taking the end portion of it will be Undril. She's not going to be as good at the task, so situations might, be.
Okay, so new plan. I'll sleep, and then I'll take over this. I don't care who does the second watch. I'll do a watch with me and Payroth. Will do a unit, and then Giant will do a unit, or Shadow and Grun will do a unit.
Well, rowing. So if you do not want to row, if you think your strength is not sufficient, and if you have a strength less than 10, then you're probably going to be a problem rower. That individual should team up with whoever's on the last watch, so you aren't rowing and Undril is.
Well, if Shadow's 8 and my 17, you said with an 18 you could do it by yourself. I should be able to compensate for him.
Well, you won't even need him there.
But
Undril's doing
last.
I'm one shy of doing it by myself, so if Shadow's there to assist, it should be fine.
Well, yeah, I'd say so. It'll be lopsided. That's the problem.
If they do the last watch, Undril can row and Shadow can keep lookout.
Right, and Grun can help Undril. There you go. So third watch is going to be Grun and Shadow. Second watch, I believe, is the only option is Payroth and One Eye, right?
Canucks.
Right. All right.
We'll paddle this boat like our canoes.
Well, we're not there yet because someone rolled a 19. I need you to go ahead and roll me a D100 while you're at it.
On it. 21.
Okay, 1 second.
That grouping.
Let's see. So, what was the number again?
19 out of 20, 21 out of 100.
21 out of 100. Okay. Let's see. As the night's going to kind of setting, the sun's kind of setting, you see off in the distance something kind of moving through the jungle, kind of moving towards you, coming very quickly and very suddenly in your direction. You hear a Hackenstone kind of, shh, just keep her quiet. It's fine. It's just some Dionysus probably hunting. If we don't draw too much attention to ourselves, they probably won't come towards us. Okay? And he kind of tells you, keep it quiet. So the two who are currently rowing, I need you to make stealth checks.
This is first
watch.
segment. Okay.
If you're wearing armor, you would have disadvantage.
Woo!
Oh, that's me. Hell.
Yeah, you're the guy.
It's me and him, right?
Correct.
7.
Okay, and then I will roll the tiebreaker. Let's see. I need to make a stealth check. I'm rolling it out in the open, by the way.
Oh, that is so good.
He looks back over at you as the chain's kind of moving. He says, "Hey, keep it quiet!" And then you hear his voice kind of quiet, and he goes, "Fuck!" And then you hear, in the jungle, and then. All right.
Not sure we quite caught that. Could you give it to us again?
I can't. I would never be able to. Chody and Zach, is there anything that you guys want to do in particular?
I will wake up the rest of our people.
Okay, who are you starting to wake up first?
I mean, honestly, if I see the thing coming, I'm just gonna go and
So
say,
you're gonna get off of
"Everybody
the
wake up."
yelling out and stuff is a great idea. They're on a boat behind you. You're rowing. So I'm asking you, who are you getting up to go and wake up?
Oh. Whoever's close. I mean, honestly, I'm going to say whoever's closest. That's what I'm going to say. Whoever I can grab first. It's going to be a quick thing. I'm going to keep rowing as much as I can.
Okay. So if you are just trying to yell back, nothing seems to be changing the effects of sleep. There's already the, coursing of the water and the sounds of the jungle that are already something that they've tried to get through to pass out. If you are unconscious, I guess you can go ahead and make a perception check with disadvantage, since he is kind of trying to make a bit of a ruckus to get you.
So who would that be?
If you're not Chody or Zach, you need to make a perception check with disadvantage.
9.
Okay.
6.
6.
Oh, that first roll though.
Kevin?
Yeah.
Perception check disadvantage.
Oh, shit.
You hear
16.
You hear kind of a rustle as you're sleeping, and your eyes flutter open, and you look across the way, and you hear on the other side that Rusk is kind of looking over his shoulder and saying, "Hey guys, wake up!" or whatever Chody would say it. And Hackenstone seems to be pulling his battle axe out of his bag, kind of holding it up, finely made dwarven battle axe, kind of looking. Just as that's happening, you hear as something kind of moves from the landing near the shore, and kind of rustles all of the leaves and whatnot. You kind of turn, look in that direction, and you see 2 very large feet and a head kind of tucked in a ball slamming down into your boat. Decent 15-foot, 20-foot jump that this creature has made as it's leaped out onto your boat.
This is the rear boat that it landed on?
It's on the rear boat, that's right.
Okay.
And the line, I assume, is tight enough to keep the boats together, but wide enough to allow it to turn and move with bends. So a little bit of mobility in it. So they're not directly attached. So it's going to be a little
big
bit
is this creature?
hot. Have you ever seen the movie Jurassic Park?
Yes.
It's a velociraptor, but it's a bit more of the actual real life style velociraptor. It has feathers and kind of
a real life velociraptor is small.
They're like as big as sheep.
It's a Utahraptor is what it's called. Utahraptor.
Dionychus
Wake us up, Kevin.
are, let's see, size-wise, they are, oh my gosh, they're about the same size as the smallest of you guys, height-wise.
Yeah.
Still doesn't matter. If they attack us while we sleep, it's an auto crit and we probably die.
So no one else woke up by this thing making a giant noise and jumping on the boat?
No. No one woke up prior to it doing that. So that's the key descriptor there. So what I'm going to do...
I should have acted, guys. Shame on me.
I'm going to pull you over to this battle map, but it's really not going to be used as like a battle map reference. It's more just for being able to select your tokens, roll initiative, and all that. If we have to get into descriptor mode, hopefully we won't have to, because it's on the boat and you're hitting it. We'll do that, but that's, terribly not the point. All right.
Oops.
Select your token and
Oof, so bad.
roll that initiative.
Just real quick, we should all be at full, right? Since it's been a day of rest and such. I don't know why, but I'm at 28.
You got punched by the Hackenstone.
Oh, right!
You're fine now. That was yesterday. He clocked you, man. It was great.
I don't know why I have damage.
That was
I didn't
good.
fight anybody. No, you backtalked.
Oh, yes,
you got
you
what you deserved.
You didn't fight. You didn't fight. You got
Get
your
lost.
shit.
All right. So let's see. The other thing I'll be doing for this game is just rolling out in the open. So. Boo, boo, boo. Bam. Initiative. All right. Kevin, you get the first initiative. You just woke up. It's probably about 5 feet from you, and it looks like it's standing over top One Eye. Looks like it's about to kind of just bring the rending claws from its back talon on one side to kind of just trample down on him. That said, it's your initiative. While you're taking your initiative, Zach, do me a favor. Roll me a d6. Thanks.
6.
Okay. Go ahead, Kevin.
I want to grab it, dude.
All right, you rush forward and kind of like come behind it. Go ahead and make your athletics check, or if you're doing something else.
Please put a Ute
Oh,
Raptor
that
in a
is
full Nelson.
so good.
It tries to weasel out, but you get it in kind of like its front claws, like its forward claws, not its feet. You kind of get them like in kind of a full Nelson or half Nelson and kind of drag him back a bit. His back feet are kind of lifting off the ground and his tail's kind of slipping underneath your legs. You're kind of mounting
What noise
the
is it
tail
making, John?
as you've got it locked. Okay.
So we're all awake.
Anything else, Kevin? You could technically move your person and kind of move it with you as a note.
Can I throw it in the water?
You could attempt to throw it in the water by movement alone, but doing so, it's just going to get a free dexterity saving throw to determine whether or not it gets chucked off or not.
Don't let it go.
Hold it.
I mean,
Yeah, your choice. Your choice.
it'd be pretty sick if this thing surprises and I just dumped it in the water. I gotta try.
Just so you know the risk and reward here. If you try to move it off of the boat and toss it into the water, and it succeeds its dexterity saving throw, which it's going to get, it stays on the boat and you're no longer grappling it.
It's it's gotta be.
I gotta risk it. It would be too cool not to try.
Okay, so
Hey, Ross.
your proficiency bonus plus which is 2. What's your dexterity modifier? Or strength modifier? Whichever's higher.
Both are 3.
Okay, so 5, so the DC's 13 for it. It's going to make a dexterity saving throw. DC 13.
Oh god, it's getting
It
out.
misses.
Fail.
You basically get on top of its tail and kind of pivot your thighs and kind of clench the tail, which causes it to freak out a bit and twist to the side. And then you pull with a half Nelson and kind of throw it up over your shoulder in like a kind of a hip toss.
Suplex.
Almost a suplex, but not with the full, because he doesn't want to go in also. He just kind of hip tosses it and it splashes into the water.
I just turn around and fucking.
It looks like it's having a bit of a problem in the water, as a note. Okay. That said, it goes to... Wait, why did my creatures not get rolled on the initiative board?
Did you have it selected? Would you roll initiative?
Because they dead.
How
There.
deep is the water, John?
Looking at it as it's thrashing about, it has to be more than 5 to 10 feet because it doesn't seem to be finding purchase on the ground.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's kind of panicked swimming in the water. All right. Let's see. Next up is Old One Eye. Now, if you want a quick scan, you'll need to roll a perception as an action. But so far as to say, the only thing that you can see is that one.
Wait, so that whole thing that like woke me up. Did I even realize what just happened?
You're
I was
unconscious.
asleep.
You need to make a perception check to see if you wake up, and that's effectively your action for the turn. So go ahead and make a perception check with disadvantage, or with just normal.
Please,
Screeching
please stay
dinosaur.
asleep. You can't follow that.
Right?
I thought that Kevin's character woke us up.
No, he doesn't get to just instantaneously wake you up. He has to deal damage to you or use his action to force you to wake, which automatically awakens you. Otherwise, you
Well,
are
I rolled
asleep.
a 7.
Does hip tossing a dinosaur into a river not automatically wake everybody on the same time?
Apparently not for
He's
Old
an
One
old
Eye.
man. He's a heavy sleeper.
apparently-
Yeah, he's
for Old One Eye.
snoring, dude.
He is sleeping through the fight.
She gone.
All right, Zach, you are up.
Too many old
You are
fascists
still
before bed.
rowing. You have the option to relinquish rowing to take another action. Otherwise, your action is rowing, and that's all you do.
Yeah, we'll just keep rowing. You know, this has been a good evening.
Very good.
I've got this under control.
I got to see Payroth do his thing.
Jeremy, same situation. So you're going to make an act. Effectively your action for the turn is making a perception check. You awaken, so you still have your movement if you want to stand up, but there's nothing to fight right now.
Yeah, I'm just gonna stand up, look around, like, what the hell, man?
About maybe 2 or 3 feet behind the boat, from where Payroth was obviously doing the Indiana Jonesy and kind of, in the back of the boat, kind of, head down.
No
maybe
ticket.
A sombrero or something, to keep the shade or keep the sun out. And then he threw it off and he rushed over and just chucked this thing off the boat. Yeah.
No ticket was the appropriate response there.
Absolutely.
That's what I thought you were going for.
It's perfect, but I was just going more for the sleeping look. He's a cool guy in the back of the boat.
I'm just gonna keep staring at the dinosaur and then staring at him and then staring at the dinosaur.
Okay.
That's the coolest shit I ever saw.
Shadow, same story. Perception check. No disadvantage on this one. You managed to wake up, so you can stand up as half your movement if you want.
Okay. So my action was to wake up. I stand up, and then I have a bonus action.
You could take a bonus action, sure.
Okay, there's really not a whole lot I can do with a bonus action. Can I try to hide?
Yeah.
Is there a place to hide on the boat?
Not really.
Okay.
Behind Grun.
I mean, that raptor's not going to find him. There's a boat between him and the raptor.
I'd like to try anyway.
Sure, make a stealth check.
20.
For all intents and purposes, you feel like you're hiding pretty well from the dinosaur in the water that is very more concerned with its trying to, stay afloat.
Perfect.
You're like, haha, you don't
Listen,
see me.
I gotta do what I gotta do.
All right. As you guys are kind of watching the scenario unfold and kind of seeing that be the case, you don't really think too much of it until 3 more of these flying, vibrantly colored creatures come slamming onto the boat from the same side. 2 of them coming down towards Payroth, and 1 of them kind of slamming next to Grun. All right. And they will multi-attack as they run down onto you. So Payroth, claw, bite.
I think the last one.
So you basically kind of turning back from the hip toss, see this kind of, and you kind of see the claws and kind of just no, and then it's like, you're like, shoulder, and then the second one kind of landing kind of near you as well. I forgot a claw in there. Okay.
Oh my god, the first one hits.
Yep. So a total of 16 damage so far.
Ow.
All right. And then the last one on Grun, claw, bite. 20 probably hits for 4 points.
What is AC without your armor on? Because I don't assume I would have slept in it.
Fair enough. So it would be your dexterity modifier plus your proficiency modifier. Or no, sorry, it's 10 plus your dexterity modifier. So 9, I think, is your AC.
11.
You have a +1 proficiency modifier? Oh, you rolled stats. That's right.
No.
Or you have a +1 dexterity modifier, I mean.
+1 dex, yeah.
Okay. Cool. Sorry, we just played with Grun
2
yesterday.
hits.
Different one.
Yeah, he's different. So
Okay. So you'll take
11 total damage.
Yep. Do. All right. So it looks like there's a total of 4 of them. 1 swimming, and it looks like it actually is kind of swimming towards the shore, not back towards the boat. And it's kind of heading. You can kind of see it. The leaves kind of as it kind of crawls out onto it. Kevin.
Question: is there anything on the boat that I can climb? Does it have a map?
No.
There's a Grun.
Run.
There's a Grun. He's within 5 feet of you.
If I jumped off of Grun, would it do a d6 of damage? That's the question.
Yeah. He's 7 feet tall. If you jump up and then fall 10 feet, yeah, that'd be a d6 of damage. Are you gonna mankind him?
I mean, we're going for cinematic effect, dude. I'm trying to decide if I want to try and open hand him off.
Got it.
Hey, I accept.
Wait, are you gonna man?
Cinematic effect was established like 10 minutes ago when you shoved a dinosaur into a river.
Are you gonna? But are you trying to mankind him? Like jump off and like smash through the table and like be bloody afterwards, like dying, like
Yes. Do I have to disengage to get away from these dinosaurs though?
So you're standing like on the back of the boat, and then there are 2 dinosaurs there, right? And then diagonally away from you is where Grun's located, against a dinosaur that's also technically adjacent to you. So basically, a diagonal back 5 foot. You're not moving away from them. Hop off of them, and then slam onto whatever you're doing.
Yeah, I'm doing that.
Here, I'll give you a quick perspective of the boat.
For now, Grun is the top ropes.
I accept.
So that's kind of what it's like.
So you're saying I could like, yeah, okay.
Yep.
I can only hit one of them, right? I couldn't like extend my legs and get a second one.
Let's see how well you roll.
Either way, it's good for me. All right, what do I got to roll to make this happen?
All right, so you're gonna make an unarmed strike.
Oh no.
All right. Okay. And you're going for the like. I'm thinking. My brain's are like you're trying to like leg splash them, right?
Yeah, like jump off and then we're going horizontal and I'm trying to just bam, like land on both of them. I'm trying to level them flat, like prone.
Are we
get them
sure
on the
he doesn't
ground.
have inspiration right now?
Does anybody have inspiration?
I do.
Okay. Well, you make a very good point, Zach, with the throwing and the turnbuckle times. Yeah, I should probably give him inspiration real quick.
Please.
You can spend your own inspiration, Kevin, if you'd like.
Absolutely.
Go ahead and roll damage for an unarmed strike.
6.
Okay. So you kind of jump up and kind of flop into them. It kind of pushes them to the side a bit, but doesn't knock them prone. But what does happen is you do hit both of them, but you end up... hold on.
Oh no.
Laying prone between the 2 of them as they back out to the side and kind of wind in serpentine, like in on top of you. Real quick note too, the boat is about 20 feet long, and so I presume that you 2 were sleeping in the back, sleeping directly underneath this whole bit and caboodle. Let's see, it would probably be Old One Eye, you're asleep, so you'd probably be towards the front, and you're rowing on the front boat, and you're rowing on the front boat. I would say Shadow might be like right about here-ish.
So, can I also spend a key point to get this dodge as a bonus action?
You could, or you could spend it to Flurry of Blows to just straight like breakdance spin up and
Oh
knock
my God.
both of them out.
Okay, hold up. Elaborate.
Very Eddie.
That is awesome.
So you have Flurry of Blows, which lets you make 2 attacks, 2 unarmed strike attacks.
Yes.
So I would assume that like you'd fall to the ground and like hit into a bent push-up stance, and then like swing your feet out and like spin,
Yeah.
and then like land back
Yeah,
on your
kick like that.
All
I
right,
have a breakdance
go ahead
move.
and make 2 attacks.
Hell yeah.
I'll say 1 against each.
Ba-bam, ba-bam.
All right, so like mid toss, you kind of feel like a little less confident, but then that second foot comes back and around, and you kick pretty hard against the one that's north of or south of Kron. Go ahead and roll damage for that one.
5.
That one, like you kick it in the face, and it starts kind of like turning its head to the side and kind of trying to rear it back. Okay, cool. One Eye, did you wake up last turn?
Nope.
All right.
Granddad's still asleep.
So this check will be made with advantage because the kerfuffle has gone on for a bit of a time.
You're missing a hell of a show, dude.
Come on, wake up,
kerfuffle.
old man.
Oh my god.
So
Oh, he's advantage.
You're kind of
I almost failed.
You're kind of laying in the front of the boat, and kind of like, hearing something. You open your one good eye and kind of look to the back of the boat, just in time to watch Payroth like fall in between them and then and land in the back of the boat. It's a very dizzying thing you've witnessed here. Your action is spent on waking up. You can stand as a happier movement if you want, or what have you. As a part of that, you can grab something if you like.
Yeah, can't the thing in front of me looks like if I were to move away from it, it'd probably snap it.
Yeah, and real quick, I'm gonna doodle. Bear with me here. Hold on, because I want to make sure you guys understand where we're at.
You say you don't want us to walk off the side of this boat?
Yeah.
It happened.
Okay, so that's the boat you're on. The boat that you're, the one that's leading. I just wanted to point out that the back of it is where the two are not. That's not where they're located at current.
All right, seeing how congested this is, I know I probably won't be able to use my longbow efficient. Like, kind of get up, look to my pack, and I'm gonna grab my hand axe and my sickle, and then I kind of go into like a dual wield stance, just like. But yeah, I don't have an action, so I'm ready.
Okay.
Next time.
Zach, you're still back there. You'd probably be toward the middle of the boat. Seems about right. Or there, that seems about right.
Do I see Payroth get to his feet?
Yeah.
Was that what had happened as
and
well?
He's toward the back. There's these weird dinosaurs in front of you and in between you and him.
Okay. And is that Shadow in the middle of the dinosaurs as well?
Unfortunately.
He's underneath them. Don't look
Okay.
like they're focusing on him.
I'm hidden, remember?
Oh, he did hide.
Yes, I think I am.
Yeah.
I don't know
guess-
if that's still the case.
No, that's right. You woke up. You'd be over one square. You don't have to be in their same square if you don't want to.
Who is that, me?
Yeah, you.
Like here?
Yeah, that's fine.
If I see that they're more focused on Grun and Payroth, I'm going to go ahead and cast Shield of Faith on Payroth.
Okay.
Nice.
So +2 AC for you, Kevin.
Thank you, Jesus.
No.
You got this, Kevin.
This is a
It's all you, Kevin.
forge domain.
Brother.
Heavy metal.
Jesus was a carpenter.
Wait, didn't you just make a barrel of those shit?
There was metal in that barrel.
True.
Wait, what happened?
I cast Shield of Faith on Kevin,
Okay.
and then we made some jades.
Jesus jokes.
Yeah.
I get you. Hold on, my system's having some issues. Bear with me. There we go.
Oh, and that's a bonus action. Yeah, that's all I'll do.
Okay.
There's not much I could do from here.
Then next up would be Jeremy.
I would tell One Eye he should switch back to his bow and keep an eye on the shore in case there's more of these things coming, and the other three of us can handle these. And then I would cast
Payroth looks like
spiritual.
he's basically falling like apart with the rents that's been torn into him. Just a quick note.
Then I would recommend he disengage and get back to the other guy.
There's no way he's gonna be able to disengage and move to the other guy. You guys are blocked off from the rest of the boat. You're on the back end of it, and they're in between you.
He can't disengage and get back to Zach.
Disengage does not allow
We're
you
stuck
to
in this together, dude. Me and you are doing the Predator Arnold Schwarzenegger handshake right now. We're in this.
Disengage doesn't let
I'm
you
down,
move through
but
enemy
I
space.
I cannot heal you and fight at the same time.
He
It's one
will
or the
survive this.
Dude, you've seen what I'm capable of. Do your thing, man.
Alright.
Push himself even harder.
Ignore John's warning of Kevin's impending
You
death.
can
I'll
cast
do anything for the title, man, including fight dinosaurs.
real quick.
Spiritual weapon.
Grunt, make a perception check for me real quick, and then spiritual weapon on top of the one that's next to him. Okay,
In the empty space here.
got it. Well, it'll be floating above them. Yeah.
Perception 6.
Okay. Yeah, I won't give it to you.
That's fine. Are there 3 dinosaurs on the boat, or is that one not on the boat?
3, and then there's a 4th one that's off the boat and then moved away. So you've seen a total of 4 at this point.
Okay, so but the one that's not currently in the doodle.
There's a 4th one that it's gone. It effectively
swam
was
away.
defeated by being thrown off the boat.
Yes, but the 3 on the map, 2 of them are in our boat, 1 is not.
No, they're all 3 in your boat.
Yeah, they're all
All three
nuts.
are on the boat.
Do you want to move the token onto the boat?
Well,
It's
no,
on the
it
boat.
is on the boat.
Not in mine.
Well, that's weird.
But yeah, it's
Your
They're
thing's
on the
broken,
boat.
man. Everybody else can see.
No, we're good.
They're
we're
on the
good.
boats.
It's all on the boat.
1, 2, 3. I have a V of dinosaurs on mine.
It's wrong.
Okay, it just jumped over there now.
Okay, that's weird.
Okay.
that's super weird.
Very. Okay, so yeah, my weapon's on top of that one,
Okay.
and it had a 19 to hit
Roll
against
damage
him.
for it.
D8 plus.
Well, just click the spiritual
2.
weapon in the chat.
Should be able to just click spiritual weapon.
Yeah, click spiritual weapon in the chat. Like where it says spiritual weapon +4. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Cool. Shadow.
Hold up, 'cause I
Oh.
can bonus action move it and attack again.
No.
That's what it says on
You
it.
used a bonus action to cast it,
No, you cast it as an action. Oh, it is a bonus action to
and it
cast. Okay.
swings immediately at that point. Then you can use an action to swing with your real weapon.
Okay, yeah, I haven't picked it up though, so I'm just gonna unarmed strike this thing
Okay.
if I have one. Or actually, no, I'll inflict wounds.
You can't. You already cast
Okay.
a leveled spell.
Okay, that's what I was checking. But
Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't have unarmed strike on here, but
So just click a strength, no proficiency, and yeah.
that right?
No, not save. Well, you're not proficient with them, so yeah, that's fine. That hits. So what's your strength modifier? 3. So you deal 4 points of damage to it, and you're punching the one
Got
that
him.
your spiritual weapon's going after, or the one that's directly south from you.
I'll focus it all on the one.
Okay. Well, it's bloodied. Pretty solid punch.
The heads up too. I'm on number 4. It apparently didn't put me on, but I rolled a 4
Okay.
for my.
I'll spend any amount of movement. I know I can't actually move, but I'll use my movement to pick up the weapon if that's okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
Shadow.
So when I stood up before, would I have been able to draw my weapon?
Well, you didn't say it then, so no.
Really?
You come on. I'm
All
trying
right,
to keep
that's
it.
fine. That's fine.
Come on, he's trying to kill us with the raptors, dude. Come on.
All right. So that I won't be able to attack this turn, I will bonus action disengage.
Okay.
Isn't drawing a weapon a free action? Just to like.
It's a part of your drawing one weapon is a part of your action. He wants both weapons at once.
Okay, no, let's say no. How about just one weapon then?
Yeah, you can always draw one weapon and attack. What I'm saying is you didn't draw one of them last time, so you could have both out now. You draw your rapier, if I remember correctly
Okay.
how this works, and stab me.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'd like to.
Go for it. The one directly south. Yep, that works.
24.
And
Wouldn't
one,
we all?
Sneak attack.
one eye's adjacent, so that sneak as well. And then I need the rapier's damage. Which
19 damage.
okay.
Bonus action disengage, and I want to hop onto the other.
But make just a quick acrobatics check.
Absolutely, that's what I was.
And because of your sailor background, I'll give you advantage for it. What'd you roll?
16.
Okay, so yeah, you can hop across. So one eye, what you watch happen is the cat just kind of reaches in and just impales the back of the creature, and it starts like and turns around. It kind of makes a face like Yoshi does when Mario kind of bops him on the head to send the tongue out, and then it spins around with its mouth like wide open and mad, looking for the person who hit it. Cat's like whoosh, and you're the one that it looks at.
Dick move.
Hey, where'd he go?
The cat
I'll
just-
be back.
Good morning.
It doesn't seem to recognize that it was the cat that did it. It thinks it was you.
That is so perfect for Shadow.
Okay, so Chody, you're on 4.
Yep, I'm going to move
What's
up
your
by.
Dexterity score?
My dexterity is a 14.
Okay.
So I'm not going to jump across the boat.
Well, they'll be going first. That's what I'm
sorry.
trying to say.
I'll back.
No, no worries. Sorry, I apologize. I was asking what your dexterity was before you got too into it.
Yeah. Sorry, 14.
No worries. So one of the raptors is going to, the one that's fighting with Payroth and has the hammer underneath it, is going to attack at Payroth, not understanding what the shiny thing on the top of its head is. Bite, claw, claw.
2 hit.
All right. So it bites you, which brings you down to 0 hit points, right? And as it kind of runs into you, you feel the lance of its claw into your shoulder as well. Failed 1 death saving throw. Drop.
Done.
Then the one against Grun. I believe I hit with 2, so 10 damage.
I'm still standing.
All right. Kevin, go ahead and make a death saving throw. 15 or better. One
Oh, no.
death saving throw. So
This
it's
is
2
that
total.
This is
hardcore
the
mode.
Kevin special, dude.
Mate
Oh
grinder mode.
no!
I thought I was about to see a 1. I'm not gonna lie.
I would have been like, we're gonna call that a Kevin. That's the new thing.
It's happened like 3
No,
times
Payroth
before.
will live through this.
No, this character's got to live. That was too awesome.
My first question is Azaka and the priestess, are they still in Snoozeville, or are we just
So-
they're phased out of
No.
existence?
I apologize. If you're paying attention to the floor, I've already rolled. No, it didn't seem to count them either. The priestess and Azaka are awake. Hackenstone is keeping an eye out still, and looking at the 2 rowers, kind of making sure that they're not going to rush forward and take over for them if they do.
So the priestess is awake?
Yeah, she'll be acting this turn. Let me get her on the board.
Yeah, as a free action, I want to say we need to clear a path to my man. He's gone down.
Okay. So I haven't got a cool token for her yet. So she's just a priest that's active. Let's see, she'd be here. And then Azaka. What? Who was sleeping on the other boat?
Okay.
What about
You-
Chody's turn? Where did Chody
Yeah,
go?
did Jody not
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Sorry, I was trying to say. Yeah, I totally missed him.
Yeah,
I'm a terrible friend. Chody, you need to be more
Go, Chris.
assertive.
All right, buddy.
Go ahead.
Okay, so
He
how
was looking at his phone.
how sturdy are the boats? Since they're bigger
The one
boats,
you're
are
on
they-
is sturdier than the one in the back.
I'm saying more. Does it look like I'd be able to jump from one to another, or will it be acrobatics?
You
check?
could try, sure. It's going to be an athletics or acrobatics, your choice.
Athletics, cool. Let's do that. And then athletics, you said?
Yeah, you're either hopping across or you're tiptoeing across.
Whichever one athletics is.
That's the one.
11.
Okay. Yeah, you managed to hop into that position.
Okay, cool.
Oh, other things got missed as well. I forgot to attack One Eye with the one in the back. But go ahead, do what you're doing.
I'm going to use my maul to swing at the dude.
Did any of those hit, Steve?
Nope.
Okay. Then it didn't even matter that I rolled. Go ahead and roll damage.
9.
All right. Tell me how you're killing it.
Yes.
I'm honestly going to just jump over, bring the maul directly down its head, and just kind of pin it to the floor.
Leaving the dead weight on the ship. Okay, perfect. And then you still have movement left if you want to step into its base.
Yep.
Okay. Let's see. All right. On 19, Azaka stands up and kind of looks at the situation. She just woke up the last turn, or this turn rather, with her roll, so she is not acting yet. And then it'll go to Zach because we did the other two.
Now you're skipping me?
Well, yeah, I guess I am. Go ahead. Take your turn.
He's Louise.
I'm not gonna press the next button, Steve. After your turn is done, just say, Zach, you're up.
Hell yeah. So now that I have a bit of distance, is it if I just drop what I'm holding and then grab my longbow, is that an action or a free action?
So dropping is free, and then a part of your action for using the bow would be drawing it.
Okay, so I can drop what I'm holding and then like knock and loose.
Yeah.
Sweet. All right. I'll do that. Grab my bow. And I'll loose at this one.
Okay.
19.
Hits.
4 damage.
Okay. Still standing, but bleeding quite a bit from the two, the wounds to the face, and the wounds in his back.
As a bonus action, Kruska's in that space. Never mind. Sorry, he's underneath that token, so never mind. Go ahead, Zach.
Okay.
I'm going to stop rowing. No, bonus action. Keep rowing. And I'm going to cast Healing Word at 2nd level onto Peyroth, the hero,
Okay.
for 7 points.
All right. He's within 60 feet?
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect.
And that'll do it.
7.
On 12, Hackenstone
All you
will
need is one.
slip into the position of the rower with his one arm. You watch the oar as the lizard folk rushes away from it, kind of slip a bit and kind of toggle in the iron hook, and he kind of grabs it with his one arm, kind of pulls it back into position, and kind of like uses his stub at the higher portion and kind of rows like pretty hard into it, matching your pace.
Cool.
All right, Jeremy, you're on 5.
Yeah, I do a thing. I'm gonna great sword.
Okay.
21 to hit.
All right. You just watch him swing the tree bar across the way and hit hard.
Stop tree bar.
Oh, sad.
Had day, yeah.
All right. Does a bit of damage to it. Cuts it a bit, but it doesn't knock it back. If it were a tree bar, I probably would have done it. But
Right. Bonus action. What was it
War Domain,
called?
spiritual weapon,
The spirit weapon.
Healing Word?
Yeah. No, spiritual weapon on the one I've already.
roll attack,
Forgot.
miss. All right. Jeremy's done. It'll go to Shadow.
Yep. Shadow is going to move here. He's going to drop his rapier and pull out his short bow and fire at the one that Jeremy's carrying.
Okay.
19 to hit,
That'll work.
and then sneak attack. 15 total.
On the one in between the priest and that one. Perfect. Okay. On 5 as well, Uvendril will stand and kind of move over into that position. And then since she used her action to wake up this turn, and she's kind of groggy a bit, she kind of gets that position. Looks like she's going to reach over to touch Peyroth to heal him, and then goes, oh, and then says some word in Celestial, casting Healing Word instead of being able to use his action or use her action to cast Cure Wounds. Get back that many.
Hell yeah.
Right. The Dionychus will attempt to. Let's see. I'm gonna actually make a Wisdom saving throw because the tides have turned. It wants to fight. It thinks it has a handle on this. It's confident.
Dumbass dinosaur.
It's gonna go ahead and do one of those on Peyroth. Bite, claw. I think that last one.
The last one hits, yeah.
For 8
What
points
is
of
your AC?
15, 17 if I still have shield.
Bummer.
damage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just a monk. I'll make it, dude. All I got is this mask.
I was hoping.
After clawing and such,
That mask is who you are.
and not bringing down the foe, it's going to pounce off of the boat towards the shoreline. Just 20 feet jump.
Do we get to punch it?
You do, but you have disadvantage for your attacks.
Grab it, step.
Damn it.
All right, this is what I've been training for. This moment right here. Fuck.
Damn it.
And I get it as well,
Yeah,
right?
you do.
I'll do. Ah, I wanted to bite it. I was biting it. Ah!
Hold on a second.
You want to eat that thing?
All right.
Right, I was going to hold on to it and try to pull it back down.
The priest misses as well. She misses as well. Okay. It'll go down to 22. It hits the shore and kind of moves into the jungle a little bit, like into the higher like plant life. You can still see it, but it has concealment effectively. So any shot against it has disadvantage.
What's the range of a dart?
30 feet / 60 feet. So you could throw it.
I mean, I guess it's the only thing left, right? Yeah, I guess I do it. For some reason, it's not on my sheet, but it's in my inventory.
Okay. Yeah, just pull dart from the character compendium then and see if it fills that attack slot. I think it has the same attack characteristic as a dagger.
It's like a D4 plus Dex.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's do a dagger attack then.
Let me just double check, make sure I'm quoting
Sure.
it right. Darts do a D4 piercing, a range of 20-60, finesse range thrown. Yeah, they're daggers.
It's just a dagger you can't stab with?
Yeah, I guess so. Cool.
Neat.
That will hit damage.
7?
Okay. So you kind of see it hit and kind of turn, and then turn its head to kind of look back, and you're like, huh! And then you watch it hit the side of its face, and it kind of like run off mad, slam into a tree trunk, and like flop on the ground in the grass or the ferns.
We got him.
All right.
I just had to let him know, dude. He thought he had me. But I had
Sniper.
Tables have turned.
Snipe.
Okay. 21. One eye. Nobody's dying, right? So I'll just get to the end.
No.
no.
Now we're
Just
back.
really fucked up.
It's a weird afternoon.
As that happens, Grun's just going to heal himself. If you know how to field dress a dinosaur, get at it. And he
You
just
hear-
lays down and goes to sleep.
You hear a loud twang come from the bow of Azaka, and an arrow kind of fly down the river a bit. The more perceptive of you are able to kind of see something get hit and then vanish, like its silhouette just vanish in the shadows. And she says, "The one you left behind probably wouldn't have fared too well out in the woods. A mercy." Shooting the one that got thrown off the boat.
Yeah, okay.
Oh man. Should have let him go home and tell his friends to beware. Pay her off.
Pretty sure those
These
were.
hands.
I'm pretty sure these are his friends, gesturing to the heaps of meat on the boat.
Speaking of, I'll turn to Hackenstone, ask, are these usable rations?
I mean, if you want to cut them,
The ones that are still here.
If you want to try and cut them up and eat them, you can. But I don't. It's more trouble to pick the feathers out than it's worth.
I've never had dinosaur.
Right? Yeah, it's just
Then
part of why we came here.
have fun. But like I said, I'm. Wait, are you asking me to do it? Because I've got duties for the next hour or so.
I'm just making sure it's safe to eat.
So do you.
That's,
Why am I rowing? Just get over here and do your job.
I'm still rowing. I'm rowing next to him.
Oh no,
He took
Rusk.
your
Rusk.
spot.
To Rusk says,
No, I'll go back to what I'm supposed to be doing.
All right.
I'm a sailor.
he relinquished it, and he says, "Do you really want to dress these animals? Is that genuinely what you want to do?"
They're too gamey and wiry, but there is some parts to them that are decent. I'll take my like my sickle, and I'm just taking their claws, especially like their back feet, their claws, and the teeth, just the usable parts.
Okay.
But the meat is probably too gamey and strange.
It is.
I
Meat's-
still
Meat's meat.
insist on trying the meat.
Make some jerky out
I'll
of
get
it.
you guys something. Well, if we can find a
Hack off a
Dianox,
thigh.
what they call it, a Hydrosaur. If we can get ourselves a Hydrosaur, that'll be good eating. But
Hey, buddy, you got rations? Because I didn't bring any. Start chopping that thing up.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh wow. You didn't buy any rations?
No, but it would be
You didn't
fighting
start with
dinosaurs.
rations?
This is food. No, because I took starting gold.
All right. Make
Means I'm broke.
make a survival check, Steve.
I'm not carving them for meat. I'm only carving them for like the claws. And
Oh, you're not helping them.
no,
Not
Okay.
on my boat.
it's stupid. It's a way you'll exert more energy and burn more calories trying to carve these for meat than what you'll get back from.
And that's what Hackenstone's insinuated as well. So if Grun or the Furbolg want to attempt it, they can try a survival check to see if they can get anything worthwhile off of the dinosaur.
They're on your boat.
You guys are rude.
Like I said, there's better species we're eating. A Hadrosaurus.
15.
Okay, you managed to get one bit of rations from the two of them. It requires quite a bit of carving. If you are trying to use as much of it as you can, the bones of these creatures are kind of feather light. They're not fully hollow, but semi-hollow. So they're worthless. And yeah, the meat it's a lot of it, but it's only going to count as one ration because it's not a lot. And when you cook it down, it'll kind of shrivel down to a like more lean kind of meat.
Tastes like chicken.
Yeah,
It's meat.
it's to get it to be edible. It's going to require a lot of reduction, a lot of condensing of it. It's not very good looking either.
It's meat.
Yeah, fair enough.
The same dude was eating bugs yesterday, so.
That said, the night continues. The next day of travel, or the next hour of travel, or watch of travel, will commence. So, Payroth, we move back to the map. If you would do me a favor and move 10 miles, so just one more hex.
Boom.
All right. So then, who's the representative watchman for the second watch?
I'm going to sleep.
Yep. So is Hackenstone. Asaka will take
It's Azaka, Payroth, and One Eye on second one.
Okay. And then you two are rowing.
Yeah.
Can I rest and hit dice? Please?
No.
Fuck.
Still fucked up.
Before they go to sleep, though, the priestess Avundra will cast another healing spell into you.
If I'm laying down to get some rest, I'll do another healing spell as
Get
well. I
14
might
back
not have
there.
to.
That's good enough. That's good enough.
Okay.
Okay. And then she will get back to sleep as well. And all right. So Old One Eye, Payroth, and Azaka. Any questions for her along the way? And then one of you two need to roll me a d20.
Steve, you go for it.
Go to roll.
Yeah, I'm afraid. You're probably gonna get another 7. Oh!
Almost got you. Solid 8.
Okay. So, any questions or anything that you want to talk about during the watch cycle and the rowing? Do you want to say, Azaka?
I ask One Eye if he wants to arm wrestle. Other than that, that's it.
You're rowing. You're rowing.
Oh. Well, shit, man.
You can play I Spy.
The question.
I Spy with my one good eye. Something that is orange.
Piroth can't see shit with this mask, dude.
It was the tail on Azaka's waist, but close enough. Details. I'm gonna ask her just how long she's okay with us staying at Camp Righteous before she wants to go to the Firefinger.
The sooner the better. The sooner we're off to the Firefinger, the better. As she's kind of standing out on it, and you're kind of looking down at her from your position, you realize she's really a lot taller than you kind of recall. She's about 6 feet tall, but like she just feels like an intimidating presence here. What you notice too, as you're kind of sitting there, doesn't seem like she's too terribly keen on hiding it, but every so often that tail on her waist moves. Make a perception check.
Who?
Whoa.
One eye looking at it again, you realize that the tail's actually not connected to her belt. It's coming out of her belt.
Oh, I called it.
Like out of her butt.
Like
She got
no,
those
it looks-
leathery wings, dude.
it looks like she has it wrapped around, like to the front,
It's her tail.
and it's kind of spilling out on the like.
Was
on
she
her
a Saiyan?
Yeah, she's got like a Saiyan belt,
got like a
and
Saiyan
there's
belt.
a little extra.
Except that the belt is a jaguar tail instead of a monkey's tail, like in Saiyan culture.
Goku.
I kind of like have a kind of a hissing laugh, and as in a lizardy way. It's like, I guess you're more like us than like my friend over.
I don't think anyone's too much like one another, she says with a grin, a Cheshire grin.
Bestial, I mean, more akin with the animals.
I guess that's fair. But I suppose I have more in common with them than I do with you. You're more related to dragons than you are to whatever I am.
I suppose. This mask you seek,
Does
does that have something to do with it?
It's none of your concern, she says as she looks back out to it. I do enjoy your conversation and your attempted camaraderie and knowing more about me, but I do have a line. I'm sorry you can't cross it.
Peyroth's gonna ask her if it's a mask like his, or if it's something more to it.
It's made out of wood. It's a carving of wood made to look like a tiger's face.
I mean, it's kind of like mine.
I meant tiger tail, not leopard tail. I said leopard a second ago. I apologize. It is a tiger tail. Anyway, anything else you guys want to discuss with her at all throughout the night?
No, she seems a little standoffish.
She definitely is a bit in that regard. Okay, so then this portion of the night goes by uneventfully. Go ahead and move the token down one more 10 feet. All right, and next on the watch is
Shadow.
Shadow, and then
Who else?
Irvindril, the priestess, and I think I've said her name like 3 different ways. The priestess, and Shadow and Grun. All right. She takes to rowing next to you. She says, "I'm really glad you guys came back." Her name's Undril. She says, "I'm really glad you guys came back. When you left that evening and kind of meandered about and disappeared, I assumed that you were going to go on without us or without me. So thank you for coming back."
If I need help, you help him.
Thanks for that. Yeah, I hope you're successful in your endeavor. But from what I've heard, a lot of folks have gone into the woods to try and find the soulmonger and deal it a death blow, and haven't come back or reported any kind of success. So I will pray to Torm as much as I can as I deal with my own problems, but hopefully you're successful.
Thank you.
One of you two pick a representative and roll a d20.
My hands are full.
I got it.
Yeah, Andy's still sketching those maps.
Oh, I rolled a 2.
No, it was.
That means you're sketching perfect maps.
Mhm.
So as you're kind of going about traveling, you do kind of feel like the jungle has kind of grown a bit darker. But up ahead, it looks like there's kind of a pretty perfect location towards the end of it that looks like it's kind of like another jetty with a tree that's fallen down into the jetty, kind of diagonal out and up. And then in the broken portion of it, kind of in the middle of the above the break, like it's forming kind of like a natural like lean arch. In the middle of it is growing another tree. So the tree is like broken down, and then a broken portion in the center of the fallen tree is growing a second tree. So it looks kind of moving all about that construct. You see these small little white ovals kind of moving about the tree, and as you kind of get closer to that area, you see that the white little shapes kind of have patterns designed all throughout them, and it looks like dark, like solid black skinned humanoid-like creatures, very small, kind of bouncing around the tree. When they see you, they all kind of turn and look at you and shake their heads, and then kind of dart away from the tree or up the tree and kind of vanish when they kind of see you.
And we're heading that way.
Yeah. You'd actually hear Asaka waking up and going, "This is as good a place as any. Decent amount of shade, circle of protection around us."
I would mention what I saw.
You saw a chingwa. How many? About a
bunch.
I would
She goes, "Oh, very fortunate. Even more reason for us to stay here."
Are they dangerous?
Oh no. They're very, very shy creatures, but they're the spirits of the jungle.
Children of the forest.
I suppose if that's what they call them in your lands. I'm not terribly familiar with anything outside of Chult, but no, yeah, a chingwa. It's a spirit of the jungle. As she's kind of looking around, you can see her kind of looking around the tree. So interesting. You see that there's a bunch of flower petals kind of all about the base of the tree and kind of floating in the water as well. Some of them are pink in coloration, some of them are kind of like a brighter yellow. And also kind of sitting inside of the pool are statues, like small statues that are kind of set inside of the silt and the broken up rocks that appear to be statues of these creatures.
Who would make those statues?
I think this water's fresh to drink as well, she says.
Who would have made those statues?
Well, when a chingwa dies, it becomes a stone statue resembling its former self. I believe this is where... I've never seen this on my travels before. I guess I must have passed it by and not noticed. Hackettstone kind of grumbles awake and says, "Yeah, this is exactly where I wanted us to set it. Good, I'm glad we made it in time." She says, I did not know of this place. I must have passed it a dozen times." "Well, it looks a bit different during the daylight. Doesn't look the same. And we got a good moon, too, so favorable trip, I'd say, all around."
Shadow, put that on the map.
Yeah, I would definitely draw that on the map.
He goes, "Did anybody see those little guys?"
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You probably won't see him again. You got lucky. Consider yourself blessed.
I try to sketch one of them, what they look like.
Sure.
Obviously, as I hold up my holy symbol.
Obviously. Let me see if I can find a handout. They probably have one.
So I guess we would make for shore and try to set up camp.
She says, "No, we could just tie off to this tree and linger on the boat. That way we don't..."
So, knowing that those are petrified corpses, I'd want to take steps to not disturb them.
Okay. Yeah, it looks like there's like positions where they're kind of located are closer to the tree and kind of under like the root structure of the tree that's growing out of the broken tree. Um, so yeah, you can definitely move into the bank of the jetty and kind of get out onto shore without stepping on any of the statues, which Azaka will do anyways, possibly with your assistance, Scrun, basically pinion the boats to the shore in like a more dense area, being able to get the spike down further into the earth. Hackenstone kind of says, "It's an easy day, lads. About 2 days worth of travel already completed, give or take. And make sure you move the token one more 10-mile marker. You should be effectively 90 miles in, or pretty much 2 days worth of trip have already been completed. We'll be able to get a lot more ground covered in the night, but real talk, if there's anything you need to do during the day in the close proximity, give it a go. But if you're able to get some sleep, some more sleep, and I know you've already had quite a bit, but if you're able to get some more sleep, it'll benefit you throughout the night."
Can you identify edible vegetation?
Oh yeah, I mean, but my gut's a bit different than yours. Azaka, can you help the gatherers do that? Aye, sure. And
I feel like I can eat what a dwarf eats, but whatever.
kind of walks over to Peyroth. You did pretty good back there, by the way. Really solid movements and motions, and you didn't get thrown off the boat. I like what you're doing there. Now that I've given you a compliment, though, you're the only one who brought any Tej, and he holds out his tankard.
I guess, yeah, I'll give him some.
All right, thanks. Hopefully this will help bring on that sweet sleep. And he walks back to his boat, gets onto it, throws out his bedroll. Doesn't look like he got much in the way of sleep last night as it stands. And starts drinking, taking it easy, having a little siesta here in this little pool. So I'm going to just go left to right and just ask you what your plans are throughout the day. Again, if you are doing something taxing, it's going to require a bit more of the water and the drinking to stay out of exhaustion. And certain activities, depending on what you choose, may just give you exhaustion regardless. And then we'll get to other stuff in here in a sec. So Steve, what's your plan for the day?
So we essentially have a small camp on land.
It's a camp that's mostly on the boats. Like the boats have been kind of tied off in a way that they can easily be got off of. There's a bit of a landing portion as well.
How's the terrain? Deep jungle, or is it swampy, or?
So it's kind of like rocky sandbank up to about 5 feet away from the water. On the right side of the pool is the tree, and directly behind it are like a series of more different trees that are not broken down, that are kind of grown up behind it. Very densely packed with a lot of vines kind of between them. Very dense jungle in that regard. But the jetty itself actually seems to kind of lead to a sand traced path that kind of leads into the jungle. Up towards, kind of more towards the mountains.
Alright, because my associate stated that he didn't bring any rations, so I was hoping to try to do a bit of hunting. But before that, just so I don't get myself murderized completely in the jungle, I wanted to use my primeval awareness just to do a quick scan of the stern, like I guess it'd be like a 1 mile cube, just to make sure there's nothing besides like out of the ordinary.
Okay. She says to you, be careful. I do know that there's reports of there being goblins up towards the Mist Cliff, and if you're, hopefully you're not planning on crossing the river. We're on the better side of the Socian Star, but on the other side, I presume there will be all sorts of undead creatures and the like. So be mindful.
No, I'm pretty much just I want to try to see if maybe I can find some sort of grazing herbivore or something to take down.
Okay. If you're attempting to basically hunt and get to a point where you're able to dispatch a creature, what's your background?
Hermit.
Okay. Go ahead and just make me a survival check then.
13.
Okay. You'd be able to sufficiently find enough of an animal, kind of a smaller animal, that would be able to sustain your feeding necessities for the rest of the day. So you don't have to consume a ration. You'd be able to eat this and be fine.
I'll get you guys a dinosaur eventually, just not today.
Nice.
Well, you'd have caught yourself a dinosaur, but it'd be like a smaller kind of.
Yeah,
bite
probably
size.
some sort of egg napper or something.
Yeah.
Oviraptor.
All right, Steve. Good times. This would be a little bit more exerting of an activity, the hunting process, kind of moving about, stalking, losing some animals, and then moving about finding the one that you are and getting it. I would say that you'd consume an entire 1 gallon worth of water,
Yeah, so by the time I get back, my water skim's empty.
and then you finish it off.
Yeah, and then
after filling.
refill it in the old bucket
Mhm.
at the end of
All right, Andy, what will Shadow be doing for the day?
Shadow is thinking along the same lines, and I have fishing tackle. I have fishing. So I'd want to sort of go to some water near the camp and sit and try to catch some fish.
The
And
pool.
I have again the sailor background.
Yeah, the pool seems really nice that you're at, and you can actually see clearly into the pool. It looks like it's clean drinking water, and every so often you'll see like a small kind of minnow kind of flutter into the pool and then kind of flutter out. You see slightly like larger fish kind of pop out and catch like a water skimmer, and you kind of see that happening there, and then you start to get out your kit and settle up. Go ahead and make me a survival check as well.
Okay. 18.
Okay. After fashion, you're able to catch enough fish to feed you and probably 2 other people, and get them onto the bit of the deck. It takes you a good portion of the day to do it, but it's a pretty lazy activity, and a good choice too. So you managed to be able to feed you and 2 other people with fish if you'd like.
Great. So I think Zach, you said you didn't bring any.
That was Grun, who's in
Grun,
who's in need of food.
I'd be happy to offer food. Jeremy.
Okay. He accepts with a thumbs up. All right, Chris, what's Rusk doing?
He's also sailor background, but he's going to be working on the boat, making sure to fix any damage that was done during the battle, and just kind of tying off and prepping it for the next travel.
Make an investigation check.
And then he's going to sunbathe.
And do so with advantage because of the sailor background.
2.
Okay. You don't see too,
Oh no.
I'm not a good sailor. I row.
you don't see too much.
I
in
mean,
the
you
way
had a long night.
you don't see too much in the way of damage that's like substantial, but there are a couple of cracks on the kind of the edges and railings, and you just kind of get in there, place a bit of tree wood that you cut out, and kind of set it there, staple it in with pitting and the like, and Hackerstone kind of nods his head. Seeing that that's fine. Kevin, what would Bayroth be doing for that day?
Probably recovering from his raptor wounds, and I guess just doing Payroth things like honing his body, doing chin-ups and pull-ups on a tree branch, balancing with like one-handed handstands,
Okay.
punching bark off trees, making sure his mask is pristine, etc.
Okay. So throughout the day, you consume about 2 gallons of water because you're being active and kind of moving about. Yeah. And then, sorry, Andy, you're kind of being lackadaisical. So 1 gallon for you. And I apologize, I didn't say it correctly because you're hunting and stalking. It's 2 gallons for you, Steve. And then Zach.
I'll make sure the water canister is topped off. If need be, I'll.
Okay.
You said this is clean drinking water in these pools,
It
right?
is. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. If it'll save us the
Okay.
effort, I'll utilize that water.
Basically, after as people are drinking, you're kind of pouring into it.
Yeah, I'm making
keeping it
sure
down.
it's topped off throughout the day.
Okay.
Can I cast? I have a Furbolg racial. I can cast detect magic
Sure.
Can I detect magic on the tree in the area?
Yeah. The tree seems to have kind of a primal magic kind of glowing kind of in the area where the broken tree meets the growing new tree.
Neat. And I'm gonna say thank you to the tree for offering us protection
Okay.
in the area.
Okay.
That's it. Just a word of thanks. Nothing substantial.
Do me a favor and make me a perception check.
Okie dokie. 10.
Yep. You feel just, yeah. It's nice.
I feel good about it.
It's a pretty good place. All right.
It's nice to be nice to trees.
Yeah. Grun. And you're basically just taking it lazy throughout the day, right? Zach?
Oh yeah. Other than just making sure our supply
Are you
of water is fresh.
Staying in armor or no?
Yeah, I would stay in armor.
So you'll be consuming 3 gallons worth of water. Just making sure you understand. I know you guys have basically an unlimited source of water at this point, but I'm just making sure you understand what the costs are as we move forward. And then Grun.
Sokka was taking me to display edible vegetation in the area.
Okay.
So I'll be gathering that. I am unarmored.
This time. Okay, so make a survival check for me. And you have advantage because Azaka's helping.
Is
Okay. So you don't find much of anything, and she keeps kind of telling you things, and the way she's kind of like showing you is she'll find some of it, herbs and like poultices and stuff, and show them to you, but then you're kind of like just looking around trying to find the same thing and having a hard time of it. There's an actual point of this process where you're staring right at a grouping of plants and you're looking at them really intensely, like trying to think which one was the one that she just showed you a second ago, and she walks over and pulls it out and kind of holds it up to you, this one, and then kind of she seems to be kind of annoyed by the lack of ability you have in this regard, and all the time you just kind of, it's hot, but you're not burning up like you were yesterday, but it's hot and you're just kind of like dealing with the bugs that are slapping on you. It's a hot mess. Nothing's working out for you out here. Eventually she comes back with a pretty decent bundle, and Grun, who she took on a walk effectively. Nice little scenic show. Gets back to the boat.
give her a scenic show.
The poultices and stuff that you find are some of them are kind of medicinal. Grunt, if you want to kind of utilize some of them for like purposes of forming like an antitoxin, I'd say you could form an antitoxin. You could form maybe if you try really hard, you might be able to form a potion of healing in the day, but that'll be a really difficult task. And if you just want to use them as like spices or something to that effect for like food, so it's not bland tasting, that's fine too.
We'll hold on to it for another day when there's a little more time for making potions. But I'll use some of it and boil it down with the chicken bird dinosaur.
Okay. All right. Now I need 1 representative or 3 representatives. Roll 3d20 total.
Steve, all 3.
Steve, 777s.
Again,
Do it.
Yeah.
we believe in you.
Raiders 1.
So the day goes by uneventfully without seeing much of anything. One last show of it. Everybody can make a perception check before you head off. Shadow, no, you wouldn't.
15.
Okay, so Payroth, you're kind of sitting back, being pretty lazy about it, doing your works out, flexing, and when you're kind of on your own out, like you found a really strong vine that's holding you, and it's not budging or anything, and it's good for what you're trying to get in those lifting positions. You kind of look off to the side to where that sand trail kind of goes into the jungle, and you see a Chwinga kind of looking at you with its head kind of cocked to the side. And when it sees you and you see it, its head kind of click, 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 click. And then it turns around and runs. And you can just see its like cute little butt kind of like bouncing across the ground as it just heads into the forest or into the jungle. If you've seen Princess Mononoke, you should know what I'm kind of like alluding to here, hopefully. but
It's like the one movie I haven't seen.
well, you should check it out.
Oh, you
That's
should.
fine.
Yeah, I know. Why'd you have to set me up for this, John?
Well, it's just a good reminder for you to watch a great film.
I mean, you're making it seem like I need to chase it, but that seems like a terrible.
Well, it's again, it's an option.
Hey, you're Payroth.
So you can.
I mean-
One I would have also seen this.
One eye would have also seen it.
One eye.
Okay, yeah, one eye you see it as well. Basically, it's at a moment
shit.
where you two are kind of doing something. It looks like Shadow's kind of gone off to do something else for a moment, kind of moving down the stream a little bit to keep up with a fish that he's specifically intent on. The others are out and about doing their things, and it doesn't look like. I would say Doral's probably like really focused on filling the water after someone just came by and drank a bunch of it. Probably Payroth, actually.
Well,
The two of you kind of recognize that you see the thing. The only other person that's within quick discussion would be Doral, I would say.
Gets
Well-
trying to tell us something.
yeah, Payroth knows that One Eye's a tracker. He feels confident in himself alone, but if I got this guy with me, we can't lose in the jungle.
Okay.
So, I'd be inclined to go chase it.
Okay.
Like, does it seem like it's pretty easy to follow, or is it like just kind of like gone?
You guys are looking at it. You kind of look at each other, and you see Payroth kind of start moving towards it. It does look like it kind of loses you a bit, but it does look like you can see that it's following the path.
Can I cast Speak with Animals and see if maybe he'll respond? If I'm like, wait, hold on, little friend.
Okay, if you're doing that, you definitely get far behind. Payroth kind of moved into the jungle and darted on his own. So you cast the spell and try and speak with it, and the two of them just kind of off screen. Okay,
I'm lost in the forest, boys. I'm sorry.
Kevin.
Payroth's been abducted by spirits.
Kevin, do me a favor, and we are winding down, by the way, just so you know. I am aware of that. There was literally 5 minutes ago, I looked down at the clock and I was like, oh, wow, this has gone really well. We're already almost to 7 o'clock. Perfect. But, Kevin, roll me a D100.
Oh, God.
It's how many years you were lost in those woods.
92.
You said 92?
Yes.
Okay. Hold on a second.
You age 92 years.
Yeah, my age 92 years.
No, everyone else does.
Comes back this old grizzled like monk.
Underneath the mask is just like this giant beard. Just like hair sticking out.
Okay.
I've seen things.
Yeah. I twitch my head like that.
It's literally Jumanji.
Sorry, I was trying to read charts and also remember the number, and you know what happened. I forgot your number. What was it again?
92.
92, thanks. Okay, let me just check this chart real quick. And I will be right with you.
God.
Hold on. Um, $92. All right. Okay. Roll a d4.
2.
And then roll 2d100.
131.
A 1 and 1.
Can I keep those numbers? 90 and
No,
41.
I need both results separate, not added them together.
Yeah, 90 and 41.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
You did.
41.
Yeah, this is a lot of rolling. I feel like I'm having my like fortune told.
Yeah, something incredible is about to happen.
You're
You're gonna
Monkey
come
man.
back with all the wisdom of the jungle. You are the jungle man.
I am the jungle.
Yeah.
Okay. So what you kind of move to is you move to an area where this little path kind of comes to a cul-de-sac. And at the end of the cul-de-sac, there are a total of like 5 trees. closely grouped together with roots that are kind of like over each other, interjecting into one another, and kind of like formed in this kind of rat king of trees, kind of here in the center, and kind of close to where they all kind of burrow into the middle. You see that there's a body of individual kind of laying there. Looks like they've been there for a long, long time. Because of the humidity and just the nature of the jungle, the skin has since melted from the body. So is the flesh. It's basically just kind of like a gritty kind of colored bone, almost like black in areas, especially in like cracks and crevices. You can every so often see like bugs and what have you kind of crawling about it. You almost are certain you see a centipede crawling in the back of the skull from where the light is hitting in the eye recess. You notice another thing about the creature though is that he's wearing kind of Faerunian kind of garb. It looks like he might have been some sort of knight or soldier, and it looks like on his belt he has a sword, and it looks like it's bent. The scabbard is bent, kind of laying against him like there's nothing inside of it, but the sword hilt is still set in the scabbard. On his belt he has a couple of different articles. There's a couple of vials on his belt that are kind of like dusted over, covered with grime, but the stoppers appear to be set in them. And then as you're kind of moving to it, you see the Chewinga kind of up in the tree, kind of shaking its head, looking down at you, and then it disappears like shadow into the tree above it. And when you look up to see where it was, you see that the arm of the knight is hanging in just space, holding on to this black rod with gold caps at the end of it. It's just floating in space. Maybe about 20 feet above you is where that rod is.
Eat too many mushrooms out there, Kevin.
I mean, in typical Kevin fashion, I want to go try and grab the hand, but this seems like the worst possible idea.
Make an athletics check for me real quick. Let's see how.
Stop thinking with that Kevin brain. Think with that Payroth brain.
I mean, the Kevin brain's what gets me killed, dude. You said athletics?
Yeah, so
25, dude.
you kind of look up at it and go, and you hop like on the branches at first, hit a knob on the tree, and then kind of spin around and grab at the hand, like the actual hand portion. When you do, though, you knock it away and it kind of flies off of the rod. The rod doesn't move. It is locked, like temporally locked in space. And so you grab onto that instead, and it holds your weight. And you're just like looking up, and it's literally just like a small little like dowel rod size kind of bar with gold caps at the end of it, and you're holding onto it. It's just floating in space.
Is there like
You kind of look at it.
anything like above, like the, you know what I mean? I'm checking for wires.
Nothing. There's nothing holding it up. It's locked in space, and you look on the sides of it, and there's a button on the head of it.
Oh, we're pressing the button. We're already too far not
It
to.
falls out of space, and you're holding onto the rod, and it just falls out of space. What would you like to do?
Try and not fall on my head.
Okay, so you're going to tumble down. Go ahead and make an acrobatics check.
12.
You kind of try to catch on that nub again, but it's slippier than you last recall it being. For some reason, you probably pushed down a lot on the bark, causing it to be a bit more sleek. And so you hit it and kind of fall to the side, kind of crumple to the ground, and kind of fall near where the body's located. And you're kind of prone looking at it. You take 5 points of falling damage, and you kind of thud. One Eye, did you follow him up this way?
Yeah, of course. Like after I was done trying to, I cast my spell to no avail, and then I try to just follow his track.
Yeah, you lose him, and you're kind of confused for a second. Then you hear a over to your left, and you kind of backtrack a bit, and then find him laying on the ground, the dead body laying out in front of him.
Are you all right, Payroth?
He's holding this weird stick.
I think so. I've clearly found something, but I'm not sure what it is.
Looks like an inanimate rod.
Yeah. I'm gonna explain to him that it was like floating in the air, and basically, yeah, everything I saw. And yeah, how I pressed this button and it let me go.
You press it again.
Try pressing it again.
Sure.
You press it, and the second you do, you're no longer able to move it. It's locked in space. You cannot shift it or move it from its position. You try to put it in your pocket. You try and until you hit the button again, and then it can be moved normally.
It's like some sort of movable, immovable rod. I'm sure there's countless uses for this.
Do you check over the body?
Yes, especially the vials. Now that I'm
Okay.
missing health.
It looks like he has a coin purse. It has some very old Faerunian gold coins in it, about 5 of them, and about 7 silver. His helmet's pretty much racked and ruined, and so is his armor and whatnot. His sword, if you kind of try to pull it out of the sheath, you realize it's just a rusted bit of metal, and it seems like the parts of the sword are still inside of the scabbard, shaking about inside. The vials on his belt, 2 of them are cracked and broken. One of them is kind of a trapezoidal, kind of almost pyramidal kind of shaped bottle, and its capstone is kind of like round and cork. It's kind of rotted a bit, but it still seems to be holding the contents inside. The liquid inside is a whitish color. You'd probably recognize this one eye as being antitoxin. And then the other potion is kind of a round bottle. Hold on a second here. Its color would
Pocket that money.
be... It's a transparent liquid inside, but you can see a sliver of fingernail, massive sliver of fingernail kind of floating inside the center of it. It just kind of floating in this white liquid that fizzes upon shaking it. It looks like a Sprite or a 7-Up with like a big fingernail in it. And I don't mean like a big fingernail that you would expect a fingernail size to be. I mean like from a very large creature, kind of like
Like a giant or something?
like a giant's fingernail, like inside of it. Yeah.
That's really gross.
Oh,
Yeah.
probably useful though. If a warrior was carrying it, it was probably useful.
He's dead though.
Okay.
Yeah, I pocket the rod, I pocket the coin. I don't really care about the vials, I'll give them to
Also,
one eye.
also there's a satchel bag with the body, and when you pick it up and kind of jingle it about, it sounds like it has contents in it of a metal variety. And when looking inside, roll 2d4.
2 and a 4.
Okay. So you managed to find like 6 items of like a kind of a relic nature. They look like pieces of like possibly tribal jewelry from within the jungle. There's a total of 6 of them in there. They look like they might value at about 25 gold pieces apiece.
They like armbands and necklaces and stuff like that?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I wear them.
Okay. He throws on the he throws it on. Okay. And then you guys head back, and the Hill Giant strength went to Steve, right? Oh.
Yeah, he's got the potions.
I slipped.
I got the bling and the money.
All right. Okay. And I think once you guys get back to the boat, it'll be kind of closer to evening time. You've consumed your water. Of course, there's no penalty therein because you had plenty of water free to you. And next session, we will start off with you guys beginning the next leg of the journey. Sound good?
For sure.
Stopping the stream. Thanks for watching. Kevin. All right.